Hello, Exiles. It has only been 3 days since I posted part 2 of our Zero to Hero series. But I have decided to end our journey for this build. Though this build has not reached its min-max potential, we have reached a long way. So let's get into it. I started to upgrade my build from our last video by changing our gear. Starting off with the weapon. Though White Wind is strong, it prevents us to be tanky since it does not allow us to use offhand equipment. So we need to use a good weapon. For that, we will go with Claw, since it provides a high attack speed and crit for a one-hand weapon while still having good damage. I don't have hundreds of divines to get one, so I just created one. It is best to utilize the recombination mechanics of the Settler League. I gathered lots of Imperial Claw and manually alt spam and annul them to get a single T1 or T2 mods. My target is to get a flat cold and increase elemental damage with attack skills for the prefix. Then crit chance, crit multi, and attack speed on the suffix. Craft, hits can't be evaded for the open prefix. Lastly, Runecraft, increased attack speed. Of course, this is not easy. It needs a lot of time gathering all the currency and items needed, plus the enormous amount of gold and dusts required. It is too long to show and explained in detail how I got this item. So, I am just showing the highlights of the recombination process. If you want to know in detail, please let me know if I need to create a separate video for everyone. And there you have it. Please note that you still need to invest quite some currency for this. However, this is totally worth it since the weapon costs around 200 divines if you will buy it on the trade website. I also purchased 2 pieces of the Taming Prismatic Ring with 42% increased elemental damage per ailment, with Yoke of Suffering that gives 10% increase elemental damage per ailment. Adding all those will give us a 100% increase, since we can inflict 4 elemental ailments which are Chill, Freeze, Ignite, and Shock. A total of 400% increase elemental damage. Damn, that is so good! Another source of our damage scaling would be from our gloves. The Admiral's Arrogance Gauntlet. Plus 3 gem level for our Frostblades of Katabasis is a huge boost. This glove will also give us a chance to gain a maximum rage. Even though we have only allocated 1 node for the rage on hit, our high attack speed will give us a high uptime for our rage. Rage gives 1% more attack damage per rage. Thus, a 30% more attack damage when we are at a maximum rage. Prismatic Tincture. One of the best items that drastically increase our damage. Paired with an elemental penetration mod, this is too good to pass up. Next, an influence Stygian Vice that has increased damage with hits against chilled enemies and increased elemental damage with attack skills. We found a low-tier int base shield. It does not match our build since we need armor and evasion. But the flat elemental damage is great. It also has a chance to avoid elemental ailments that ramps our defensive capabilities. Together with our body armor with high evasion and armor stats, and another chance to avoid elemental ailments mod, we can now reach a good defense. This armor also helps in physical damage mitigation and helps us gain endurance charges. We also need an Ancestral Vision Jewel to ramp up our chance to avoid elemental ailments to 100%. So, let's say goodbye to those annoying Chill, Freeze, and Shock to us. Here is a Light of Meaning Prismatic Jewel that increase our cold damage by 6% for each allocated passive nodes in the radius. Our passive tree was adjusted to get Forces of Nature for additional elemental damage and penetration. Its mastery also has a chance to treat enemies' resistance as inverted. Since we dropped the White Wind and used a dagger, we will now allocate the dagger circle on the passives. It has more crit and attack speed stats. Sadly, we do not have enough for now and cannot maximize our allocation. Let us now see where this build can take us.
I can't do this. My spirit is spent.
That is it, everyone. The POB for this build is linked on the description below. I know that there are still things that we can do to improve on this build, such as changing the shield, adding more passives, large cluster jewels, and Watcher's Eye. There are also mirror tier build where we need to try to get plus frenzy charges to our equipment and push to around 11 charges. Some implicit where it adds some cold damage per frenzy charges. However, we need to level up more and earn tons of currency. But I wanted to use the time to create one more build before we move to the early access of Path of Exile 2. This has been a really great journey. I am overwhelmed from the support for my first 0 to hero video. As a starting content creator for this game, I am now more inspired to do more. If there are build guides you are interested in, or suggestions that I could do, please let me know. Let us see if I can work on it. For our next plan, I am thinking of making a Sanctum Farmer build, or a Mana-stacking Kinetic Blast of Clustering build. I also have a Marauder character sitting in the dust on my Settler League. I am thinking of doing something about it, like making a Strength Stacker. I would love to hear from you guys on what I should do next. From the bottom of my heart, I would like to give my thanks. Also to new friends that I encountered in the game. This is goodbye for now, and I hope to see you again on me next videos.